Okay, well, good evening. My name is Damien, the tall, friendly atheist dad. Wherever you are, wherever you happen to be, whenever you're listening to this, I hope you're well. And I hope you've had a good weekend. This is hopefully the first of many Sunday night call-in shows. And I basically started this since, when was it? Last weekend. I had a couple of people jump in on the stream as I was reading a book. And yeah, it was just, it was interesting taking live comments and live questions. And on Friday night, there was also a gentleman who expressed interest in debating me. So yeah, I thought, yeah, why not? Look, I'll open the stream up. Anyone who wants to come on and ask me a question about anything, it doesn't have to be about religion, it can be about politics, it can be about sport, it can be about whatever you feel like chatting about. So yeah, what I was going to say on the podcast this morning my time anyway, I did interview the coronavirus. Well, in reality, it was the guys, or one of the guys behind the coronavirus Twitter account. But we had an interesting chat. It was a mock interview style. Had a bit of comedy in there. Had a bit of but we did also want to spread information about COVID and how to look after yourself from COVID and some of the misinformation about COVID and so it was a bit of a parody kind of thing. And so anyway, so I'm just gonna I'll sit here for a few minutes. Whoever wants to come in can come in. I will I suppose specify some rules though that honest debate. Don't go repeating the same question as if that question is a gotcha. No ad hominems. No, let's just friendly debate. Basically, don't act in a manner which will require me blocking you from the studio in order to end the conversation. Let's put it like that. If you had a live stream and I came onto your live stream, and I started acting like a jerk, then yeah. So yeah. Anyway, let's. I'll put this comment up. If anyone does want to jump in the. Now I realise where it is for some people in the world. It is fairly early in the morning, so lucky you guys. And so I'm just going to retweet that. And while I'm at it, let me put my banner down. Otherwise, people won't know it's live. But, there we go. That's working. Otherwise, yeah. What was I going to say? Yeah, so this morning, interviewed so if you jump on the YouTube channel so if you jump on the YouTube channel for the podcast, you'll see the interview there. The first few minutes were littered with technical difficulties because it was where I'm not going to reveal confidences, but where the gentleman was broadcasting from, the internet was really choppy. So it was the first few minutes were pretty bad. But then once his internet connection got sorted, it was. So anyway, feel free to whoever's listening, whoever's watching, feel free to jump in. Let's have a chat about stuff, and we can either end your weekend on a good note or begin your Sunday on a good note. So, what else was there? Last night, no, I didn't read last night because I wanted to prepare the script for the interview this morning. Just trying to think what else. Yeah, so in news, so yesterday the Melbourne protests. was the COVID lockdown protest that happened in Melbourne. A bit of a big deal. I don't think there was anything today, any new protests today. But yeah, it was a bit of a little bit scary. And what I might do is see if I can actually find the footage, because it's a holy cheese balls. It was a bit of a okay. Let me. Melbourne protest. Oh yes. Now the. Now, let me see if I can actually share this, because I want to see if I can. Let's go share. Let's go share screen, and let's go Chrome tab, and oh, fantastic. Okay, let me hit that. Yes, sycophants.
No one likes an incomplete job. So why do an incomplete job search? With tons of jobs the others don't have. Complete your job search with Indeed.
Good morning. Thank you for waking up with us this morning.
Yeah, good morning, everybody. Big show ahead for you this Sunday morning, of course.
On streets have up between pro-lockdown sentiment.
Frustration
Okay, so this
to
is
breaking point.
Holy shit, that is
Freedom
scary.
is just weeks away, but Melbourne is heaving with fury. A plot to protest called for Victoria Police's biggest operation in 2 decades.
Okay, so that was. Now, if said anyone is watching, listening, so feel free to come on. Yeah, so that wasn't actually in the city itself. So what the police did, they actually shut down basically put a whole heap of officers around the city itself, and they actually shut down public transport for for about 6 hours during the day. And then, so what that happened was that the people organised in the protests went to another place just outside, so in a suburb called Richmond, which is adjacent to the central business district. And then so they actually started protesting there, and so some of the streets I recognise, because in my job as a field technician, I get to travel around a fair bit. So so if you want to, anyone who wants to join into the chat, pop into the stream, leave some comments. More than happy to have some comments. But otherwise, we're going to keep playing this.
They blocked almost every road in and out of the city, but in Richmond, they were outnumbered and briefly overpowered. The protesters had promised to be peaceful, but officers were pelted with bottles, 6 of them taken to hospital.
They're here to help and keep the community safe.
That's a pretty scary
and what we
situation.
don't come to work for is get trampled, assaulted.
235 people were arrested. More than $1 million in fines will be issued.
Wow.
In Sydney, the show was over before it began. Police snuffing out action early, flooding parks, public transport and roads, arresting 20 people.
All right, so yeah, okay, yeah, so I can't say much what happened in Sydney, because as I said, I wasn't mean too much to it. Like, it looks like most of the action happened in Melbourne. Lucky us, but it was a bit of a scary thing. But now the weird thing is that, there are more people out to stop the protesters than, I don't know. It's just like if the whole point of lockdown is to stop people being out, then like sending more people out to stop the people that are out, you're kind of like undoing the lockdown. It's a bit of a. I'm a little bit both ways, because I do actually, like thinking about the freedoms that we do need, because hey, freedoms are freedoms. So one of the reasons we live in Western countries is because they supposedly respect our freedoms. But then, so I was going to open this up a little bit. But then, if you lock down public transport, if you so let's just see what else is in
Brisbane and Perth aren't locked down, but backed their sister cities with calls for freedom,
we have
touting an agenda against authority
Finish this off.
and vaccination too. The marches were orderly but still disruptive.
Okay, let's just jump over and see who is my friend Akashdeep.
Yeah, yes. So what's the stream about?
Sorry?
What's the stream about,
Nothing. This is just for anyone who wants to come in and chat.
Oh, I see,
There
I
is
see.
I
So
don't
Nazul
have,
hasn't came yet.
I don't have a particular topic. It's just whoever wants to come in and chat can come in and chat. I know that
Yeah,
there's
so
been
Nazul, yeah, so, I mean, yeah, so, Nazul wanted to debate with you, right? So he isn't came yet.
well, he on Friday, so 2 nights ago, he did actually come on to wanted to come on and chat, and there was, I think there's a couple, like, I've noticed that whenever I've opened up the stream for people to come in, I've just noticed people come in. So I figure, yeah, if anyone wants to come in and have a chat. But yeah, one of the topics I wanted to...
Yeah, so, but let me warn you, Damien, Nazul is apparently a kid from Assam, and he's a new Muslim. So Nazul is basically like a 16-year-old kid from Assam, and he is basically a new Muslim, and basically anti-intellectual.
Okay. Yep. That's...
So
yeah.
basically like adding, like basically like adding Christian.
Okay. All right. Let's if he does come on, we can have a chat. If he's not worth debating, I can always kick him from the studio. That's yeah, no issue.
Yeah, I would say. I would say that he's not worth debating.
Day of this bride's life.
But yeah, I just wanted to finish this news report because this is from my country yesterday.
To come.
Now there was where was it? There was a long form video where
Anti-lockdown protest.
From the files of
anti-lockdown protest coming in Australia.
Sorry.
And anti-lockdown protest in Australia.
Yeah, this is so if you look on the screen, this is actually from my city. Not near me because I actually live fairly like I know where this place is, but however this is on the other side of the city from me. So I wasn't affected at all by this, it's just watching.
Yeah, I would never thought that Australia would have that big like anti-lockdown protest.
Yeah, it's.
Damn, this pure.
Yeah,
look at the crowd.
Yeah, pretty scary, and apparently like about 10 police officers put in hospital with various injuries. Yep, I know where this one is. Yep, that is. Funnily enough, this is actually near IKEA in Melbourne, so I recognise the so you can see they've been blocked off both sides. Now, what does it say? This is not about a virus.
This is not about identity. Well, virus. Each about government total control of the people. Total control of the people. And why is there a Sweden flag?
What? Sorry.
I mean, there was a Swedish flag in the video for some reason.
I think this is in Brisbane. I don't recognise where this is.
What are the signs saying? Oh, media tell the
Yeah, the sign says disgrace yourself. Now, just I'll pause it there. Like, so we've been in lockdowns at various stages for the last year and a half. So probably since about March last year. So we had like a lockdown that went for about 3 or 4 weeks, and then we had another one that went for about maybe a week or two. Then we had another one that went for about 3 months. That was last year. Then this year we're in our third lockdown this year. So this is our sixth lockdown, and yeah, the numbers for these protests are getting bigger and bigger and bigger.
Bigger. Yeah.
And yeah, so look, I support their right to protest. However, I don't think they're changing anybody's minds, and I don't think there's, how can I say, I don't think there's a...
And there's too many violence here also.
Yep. It is, yeah, it is, yeah, so this is, now, there was actually a little... Yeah, getting pretty scared. Now, there was a... Now, I'm just going to try to find... There was a particular video I saw that... just... 9 News Melbourne. Now, they had like a... Okay, here we go. This is a video.
We always thought Valia provided a feel-good start to the day. Then we discovered its special probiotics.
Now, because there was a couple of signs that people had in... So I'm just going to quickly go over because there was a couple of signs that I saw.
Damn, this is too messed up.
Yeah, that's still Richmond. Yeah, so this is not about advice about government control of the people. Yep.
We want no job. Why is the TFAD lying to us?
Shutting down the suburbs, they bypassed already crippled businesses, and somehow walls of armed and mounted police.
Horses. Yeah, this would be pretty scary.
Strong crowd was suddenly surrounded.
So sometimes police jump on horses as well.
Then sat in the street pleading for authorities to listen.
Why should I be forced out of a job? Why should anyone be forced to do anything? This is a human rights protest.
This group is...
Okay, here we go. This is the first one. So if we zoom in on that... So does that...
I am no longer a slave to fear. I am a child of God. Oh yes, sons of man.
So this is... interesting that someone's actually gone to the effort to make that sign, and I have noticed...
What has I have no idea what has God to do with this.
Well, it depends. It depends on your theology. Some people would say that the coronavirus is a punishment from God. Some people would say there'll be people who say that the coronavirus is from Satan, is like a tool created by Satan to destroy the church. There are people who believe that COVID is like a government attempt at control of our lives. I know there's at least one church in Melbourne who continually defied restrictions, and like the pastor of the church got fined like a few $1,000s for having services during lockdowns. If I can find, I might find the video of his as well.
Simply too big for police to disperse. They're growing by the minute. Now a standoff here.
See, look, we are being forced because we're on media now. People can see that we are not the bad people.
But with the resident opening an apartment gate, they
not
made
sure
an
about
escape.
that.
And violent splinter groups rapidly took over towards police. Key antagonists were arrested. Some were armed.
We saw angry.
The original
okay, so
road
there was
in
another
and
sign
out
that I
of the
saw
city,
in
deploying 2,000 officers at a cost of almost $500,000.
It was actually very Christian in nature as well. I want to see if I can...
change.
And Lana, a number
capitalising on a last-minute location change just outside the checkpoints in Richmond.
And
okay, I'm going to fast forward.
On the city's police crackdown on anyone
snaking into the city. Traffic was bumper to bumper.
Melbourne. Yep, I know where that is.
Today's show of 4.
Actually, I'm going to pause it there. This is actually quite interesting. Do you see that big Ferris wheel there? Okay, Steve.
Yeah.
So let me just double check. Let me check. Okay, no one else has popped in. Okay, fair enough. So that big Ferris wheel there, just behind the bus, that has actually been closed down. Last week they announced that the operators of that wheel, observation wheel, have announced that because of the COVID restrictions impacting travel and tourism, that it's actually they're going to close down. So that was built about 12 years ago, and funnily enough, right after it started opening, there was like a 46-degree day, so it was like a really, really, really hot, and that caused cracking and structural damage to the wheel. So that wheel was already like a year or so behind schedule. Then when it finally opened, it had structural damage, and so they had to like rebuild it, and it was so that wheel's had a bit of a trouble past.
Getting through
it's
actually
quite interesting.
My day, honestly.
Because forced.
It's worth it. It's surreal. It's like a bit crazy, but no, I've never seen anything like this before.
It's pretty frustrating with all the protesters at the moment. Shuttles to transport essential workers. Water crews skimming along the Yarra.
Yarra.
You have to have evidence of a crime in order to arrest him.
It was a great enforcing the vehicle checkpoints, kept all those people and the planned protesters.
That's a city, and you can see my city is like a ghost town now, just because
ghost town.
It is. It's
my city. I mean, in my city, in my city, there's too much traffic there.
Things at trams are quiet though. Workers.
Okay, this is the main train station.
Facing unprecedented today.
Okay,
tracers have all those positive.
Because there was another religious sign, because I really
construction workers.
This as well. Let's talk about this.
And while hospitals are working overtime, the construction sector is being warned to.
Okay, so all those construction workers there. So the government has announced that construction workers aren't allowed, in order to prevent outbreaks, construction workers aren't allowed to use their tea rooms in order to have their break. And so last Friday they had a protest where they had their break across the road.
Lift its COVID compliance or face shutdown.
And so you can see they're just sitting at the middle of the road having their break as a protest against the government
workers
rules.
held a smoko protest in the city, grumbling about the closure of their tea rooms.
They need to smarten up, but frankly the whole sector needs to smarten up.
And the ramp up of South 71.2% have had one dose.
Go back because, sorry to keep doing it because, I've got to find where this sign is because it was.
And violent splinter groups rapidly took over. Undeterred by spray, they pelted bottles and equipment towards police. Key antagonists were arrested. Some were armed.
We saw angry young men that were there, there intent on violence against police.
This was far from the original plan. Victoria Police's biggest operation in 2 decades. They blocked almost every road in and out of the city, deploying 2,000 officers at a cost of almost $500,000.
Doing this does nothing
police,
to advance any cause. It's never been successful here or overseas. Protesting gets you nowhere.
But these demonstrators hid in plain sight, many of them tradesmen and other essential workers, capitalising on a last-minute location change just outside the checkpoints in Richmond.
And
so I can't find it. It's a little bit disorganised, but I want to see if I can. There was one of the city shots as well.
streets collecting supporters.
I think it will be more easier to find a mobile rather than PC.
Shutting down the suburbs, they bypassed already crippled businesses and somehow walls of armed and mounted police. The 700-person strong crowd was suddenly surrounded.
Okay.
Then sat in the street pleading for authorities to listen.
Why should I be forced out of a job?
Why should I be forced out of a job?
And end up
pulled by female caps linked up.
Okay, not gonna stress over it, but yeah, it was just there was another. If I do find it, there was another sign that had like very very strong religious motivations behind it, and it's just interesting that yeah, this is there are Christians who feel that this is a who feel this is a religious thing. Now, now I'm going to let me see if I can find Church
of Christ.
No, it's where was it? Here we go. Church lockdown.
Church lockdown.
I think I found it. Here we go. This is
For years at GYG, we've been trialing and tasting every plant-based option on the market, and we found the one. You will not find a better plant-based item than our shredded shiitake mushrooms.
It's like a Mexican takeaway, but for white people.
A pastor in Melbourne southeast faces serious charges after holding a church service as he'll obey
masks, no social distancing, and no respect for the rules.
The knowledge of God in my heart. Thank you, Jesus.
Pastor Paul Furlong held his Sunday service in Narre Warren, undeterred by the lockdown.
Where is the pandemic? It's not about COVID. It's about one world order and government control and removing our freedoms. Are we going to obey God? Or we're going to obey man?
Dozens.
Okay, so this is it. I might actually try to get this guy on the podcast if I can. I think
really?
Yeah, because he's in my city. He's on the other side of the city from me. But you know, I can say like
you know, like I want to like to talk with him with some folk, or debate with him.
Yeah, it would be very interesting because like I kind of grew up in his form of Christianity. It's let's say maybe not his exactly, but you know, I am very familiar with the mistrust of the government.
Warren, undeterred by
so listen to him again.
Where is the pandemic? It's not about COVID. It's about one world order and government control and removing our freedoms.
Yeah, so this I think he was confirming what I said, that it's not about, it basically like there's not a virus. It's about governments, trying to. It's like, well, yeah, he's not paying the health bills. He's not coordinating a response to look after people. Are we going
to obey God or are we going to obey man?
Dozens attended,
he's just going to.
Denier Nick
How can I say, like, you can say stupid things when you're not in control, when you're not responsible for things, when you're not responsible for people. And so I do actually feel for the government as well, that like if they lock cities down, they get protests, about like, why are you locking us down? You're killing businesses and all that. Whereas if they don't have lockdowns, then you have hundreds of thousands of people dying, and you get
known for hosting anti-lockdown meetings.
According to our Commonwealth Constitution, we have rights, freedom of religion, and to associate and to gather.
But not according to the police, who arrived towards the end of the service.
You've come here armed, which is an act of interrogation.
You're always armed. This is protection.
It's still an act of...
protecting people, okay?
Well, you're not protecting me.
Organisers were allowed to finish, but details were taken.
Are you actively protesting?
check his
were allowed to finish, but details...
There is a child of God, a man of faith, warrior of Christ. Warrior of Christ?
Yeah, warrior of Christ. Yeah, and he's got like a guy in armor with a sword there.
We're taken.
Actively protesting.
This is like Sid Megami.
Look, we could have a legal discussion surely, but I'm sure the better forum for that would be in court.
The people who attended could face a $1,652 fine for breaching lockdown rules, while organising the gathering may open up Pastor Paul to incitement charges. Late today, police confirmed an incitement investigation is underway and Pastor Paul will be fined. But it's unclear whether his parishioners will also be penalised.
If we do not do it, then we're disobeying God. And if I disobey God, that is sin.
Tegan Dolling, 7 News.
Actually, what was that? What was that at the end? I'm gonna see what that.
Tegan Dolling, 7.
Okay, yeah. So he's that's very Christian behaviour there.
Do it, then we disobey God.
I'm just gonna slow it down.
And if I disobey God, that is sin.
Tegan Dolling.
Yeah, there you go. So that's incredibly Christian behaviour, showing the love of Christ there, all that kind of stuff. So it's
7 News.
Yeah. So what then happened was that pastor got fined, but the people got they didn't get. And it's interesting because I'm going to show you another news report where Rosh Hashanah Melbourne. This. So this was also.
Shut up and take my money.
Ads, gotta love ads.
Earlier today, crewmen died.
They are getting too much money from this ads.
More
I
now
guess.
on the Melbourne worship rules.
Okay, so this is a couple of weeks ago.
Yesterday, as up to 100 people inside refused to leave.
Yeah, so
Then
Rosh
last
Hashanah
night,
is
when
the
they
Jewish
finally
New Year.
did, things turned ugly. For more, I'm joined by Melbourne Lord Mayor Sally Calvin.
But also an incident
There,
so you
there are
can see
things
that.
online and a lot of people in the Jewish community complaining about this group gathering in person.
Exactly, Nat. It is very selfish because every day people are making sacrifices. They're finding ingenious ways to go ahead with services, to bring congregations together, to make sure that they can continue to provide community support and get people involved without...
So there is a... All right, let me see if I can...
Man, it never happened. This kind of stuff never happened.
Yeah, look, there are like so you get radical Christians who feel it's their God-given right to meet, and you have Muslims who feel it's their God-given right to meet, and then so let me just see if I can share this tab instead. So give me a sec. I'm going to stop screen and I'm going to share my other screen, Chrome tab and Google Maps. Here we go. So basically, this area here is a city, but then basically I don't know if you can, around this area where the screen is centered is in that particular area is very Jewish. So in particular, where is it? Yeah, in particular around here is, that's going a little bit too close. But yeah, very I've got a friend who is converting to Judaism, and he lives near that star. I've got that star for another reason, but yeah. So where those protests happened was in Ripponlea around here. So it's all around. There's a few mosques and all that, and yeah, again that was yeah. So it's just quite interesting that that particular faiths feel the need to protest stuff, and it's just interesting. Yeah, so it's not just Christians. Yeah, so anyway,
it's also the Jewish people, I guess.
Sorry.
It's also the Jewish people, I guess.
Yeah, but it's like it's like a certain population of Jews. So it's a bit like how like that pastor I showed you before was only one pastor in one denomination of Christianity. So we can't say that it's all Christians. All Christians hate. All Christians are trying to break the rules. It's only one group of Christians trying to break the rules, and the same here with the Jews. Not every Jew is trying to break the rules.
Also trying to break the rules.
Sorry.
Are the Muslims also involved in this?
Good question. Let me double check. Okay, I'm going to do a quick Google search. Melbourne Mosque. Okay, I'll see if there's any.
Religion and ceremonies is the. Here.
Okay.
Protest.
Let's see if there's. Let me see if I can. Okay. That's no, that's not.
10 police injured, more
Melbourne
than 20
Mosque
other
protest.
people arrested.
No, like I don't actually know of any. Yeah, like I don't know of any actual protest about from Muslims. Well, not in Australia anyway. Not in Australia anyway, because yeah. No, interesting. Look, Akash, Steve, I'm gonna maybe end the chat here. We haven't had any guests come in, so I might have an early night. But is there anything that you wanted to chat about before we ended?
No, not really. But but if you see Nazul coming in, so we can. Yeah, I will see that.
No worries. Okay, look, I might be on same time tomorrow night. So if you do come into the stream, would love to have you on. Otherwise, look after yourself and thank you for coming in.